one person or 295 pounds. Hey everybody, coming at you from my favorite watering hole. Now, everybody knows that when you go out on an excursion in a canoe or a kayak or whatever, you want to put your camping gear in a dry bag. All right, dry bag, that's how you carry it in case it tips over. Now if it tips over, what do you do if all your gear's gone? Well, naturally you have a survival kit with you. People that watch my channel, they know that I'm always big on these wilderness survival kits, whether big or little. I never have shown one that was for water or land. These, but they're great to have along. These are actually life gear survival kit. Several companies make these. I like them because they come in a waterproof bag, and a few of the contents you can take out if you're not going to be like out on the ocean or on a giant lake. But of course there's a lot of contents I left in here, and then I've added some contents to it. But I've seen a few comments on Reddit, and let's see, Reddit, and there was one other site, but I can't remember, but there was some people that I thought was kind of dangerous, that they were saying that, you know, don't strap this to your kayak or your canoe, strap it to your leg. Well, and strap it good so that if it, you know, you can't lose it. If you fall over, you get separated from your kayak. Well, some of the ways they were describing this thing could get tangled up around your leg or your arm and maybe cause you to drown, maybe, I don't know. But anyway, so therefore the whole idea behind this video is I'm going to show my method for this, and that would really be a short video, so I'm going to show the contents of this too. All right, so let's get into this. Now usually I'm in a hard shell kayak or a hard shell canoe, but today we're in the worst possible scenario for needing a survival kit, and that's an inflatable. So generally you're going to have your camping gear in a dry bag. All right, so what I would do with that is, since most of my body weight's in the back, and the fact that this is a cargo net, is I'll put this in the front just like that. All right, so there it is, nice and secure over the front and the back. Now let's talk about the survival kit right here. All right, it comes with a strap. Usually that strap comes off, at least one side of it. One side will come off just like that right there. All right, now a lot of people they're like, when you put this in there you need to strap it to your leg, and then they're like, well, that could drown you. If you take like paracord and a carabiner, lock and carabiner, it could possibly get tangled up and cause you to drown. And then there's other people that they say you put a breakaway on it, that way it'll break away from your leg. Well, then you lose your kit. So what I do is I will take the carabiner just like this, and I put it on a float just like this. All right, and then I strap this, I'll run this through just like this. Hold on. I run the paracord through the loop just like that, so that this thing won't necessarily drag me down, but it'll also, there's a float on here, and this is a float for like lining like they put them along lines, or for their markers, for you can mark something under the water. And so what I do with that is I'll do that, and I'll have a locking carabiner, and I'll lock it to my belt loop right here. That way if I get hung up or something, I can just grab it and rip it off of me. Or if you're that worried about it, you can run this through your belt. And you can have that as a breakaway, and you can lock that on. And see, that way, this whole kit, it's up to you, depending on where you're at, that you could either lose your entire kit if you get hung up, or you'll be able to break it away real quick if you're about to lose it. And then the fact that it's being orange, I don't know, maybe you could grab it, maybe you could break this loose and grab it. There's several different ways of thinking about it, but if you're going to attach it to yourself, attach it, don't tie it around your leg. Use a carabiner or a Fast-Tex buckle. All right, so let's throw the stuff in the water and paddle around for just a little bit and find a place to get out and talk about this survival kit. I better throw on my vest. Now, a lot of this stuff about the way, you got to think about these things, about the way you attach a survival kit to you. And it's like, are you on a still lake? Are you on the ocean? Are you on a creek? Or are you on a river? Are you on white water? Chances are, if you paracord it to your leg, you won't lose it, but it could tangle you up big time. And you can't, sometimes in a panic, you can't reach down like that. But for me, this is pretty still water. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna opt to put it on my loop on my belt, because the chances of getting this, snagging and losing this is pretty low, but the chances of me ripping it apart, I can do that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to get in this thing. I always have trouble getting in these inflatables. I hope I don't fall. But generally, you wanna lay back, keep your kid out of the water, and get your feet up under here, just like that. Most of the time, everything's going to get wet when you do this. But now I've managed to not get wet. I got a little bit of mud here, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this right here. I gotta, this thing's wanting to get out on the water pretty quick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this carabiner here. I've got this thing securely attached to this so that if this goes overboard, it should help it keep it from sinking. So I got my cord under here. I mean my webbing, and I've got it locked on. And if anything happens, see, now I can do this. And another little trick you can do is you can take this and you can wrap it around twice so that you won't be bumbling around for the Fast-Tex. You're going to know that it's going to be right there near that connection and nothing will happen. All right, so let's take off and head, I don't know, let's head across stream over there. Now this is less than ideal conditions, because I don't know if you can see this or not because I got it on my head, but I have got a tripod with my GoPro bag precariously balanced on my knees. Now, you know, normally this is a very, very old Coleman inflatable, but it's unbelievable how long these things last. Look at that, there's a fish jumping right there. It's unbelievable how long these things last if you keep them out of the sunlight. And I keep this one stored in the basement. And as far as comfort, you know, a lot of people, they'll complain about these things, but the way this thing's set up, I mean, it's literally, the bottom of it is inflated, the sides are inflated, the top's inflated, and the backrest is inflated. So I mean, this is literally like, it's like being in a, how should I say, like a floating lazy boy. All right, so I don't know. It looks like this creek is blocked off by a tree. Let's go over here and take a look. We may wind up having to go right back to where we came from. But anyway, the deal about this survival kit is it's really meant to keep on boats. You know, like when you're out on the ocean or the big lakes. But I just kind of felt like it was a suitable fit for a kayak. You know, since the fact that it comes in a dry bag. And you can see right here on the front, hopefully. We want to avoid that. Oh, and this kayak is 5 chambers. So if you hear a psh, you should still be able to make it. Now this is the area out here that I've camped 2 times, and it's pretty nice out here because nobody ever comes back here. Now as far as getting out of this thing, I don't know. There is a tree up here ahead. No, it's a beaver dam. Now I don't know what it is. Look, it looks like this over here is the only place to get out. Let's get out right here. I'm gonna attempt to take this GoPro off my head and put it on the tripod right here. That was a disaster about to happen right there. So I'm just gonna put you on the tripod and we're gonna go back to where we were, all right? Because that thing, I'm telling you, and I have the tripod precariously balanced. See, with my hard shell kayak, there's places to mount a camera. And with this thing, it's just, yeah, like I said, my tripod, it's just precariously balanced there. And they say a GoPro is, you know, waterproof, but I still don't want it to take the drink. I guess what we're going to do now, normally all this stuff would be very easy, you know, but trying to get in and out of this thing and filming it and loading and unloading all this stuff and dealing with the camera and the tripod, I think it's easier if I just go back to where we put in, because I know it's easy to get in and out of there, and I can actually reach. I can put the camera on the shore and reach it from there. That over there was so steep I couldn't. But anyway, I don't know how many of you have ever had a inflatable like this, but I really do like this thing. And there's a lot of areas I wouldn't bring it. My other inflatable has a very heavy Cordura cover over it. You can literally bounce off rocks. All right, let's see if we can get back over here on shore. We'll go through the contents of this survival bag. All right. Now, it's times like this that I wish that I had a camera person filming me dealing with the camera, reaching over there one-handed, holding onto the bank and trying to hit record. So anyway, all right, getting out of this thing, I'm gonna put my paddle right there so I can grab it so I can support the land. Now I'm gonna unhook my Fast-Tex buckle here. Take the floating buoy, take my survival kit, and I'm gonna set it on land. Oh no, look at that. See? Look at that. That's my GoPro head mount. I forgot about it. It was in my lap and I just dropped it in the water. Good thing it didn't have a camera on it. Now, I'll pull up here a little bit. Now this is the hard part right here, is I got to get my legs out. And what you do is, instead of jumping out of this thing, take your paddle and that's how right there. Let me turn this camera around a little bit. Oh. I hope, I put it on wide view, so I hope I got all that. All right, and then you just reach and pull your kayak right out of the water. All right, we're up on dry land now where I can see what I'm doing. So let's go through the contents of this here survival kit. All right, let's get this thing off first. All right, we got our float. Undo this little thing. We got a little float. Always attach a float to your survival kit, always. All right, let's unroll this thing, see what we got. All right, first off, now I don't know how this stuff's packed in here, but you know what goes with what. This is a heavy duty, a very heavy duty rain poncho that also doubles as a tarp. Now, a lot of people will carry those, the military type. They're either olive drab or woodland camo. But the thing is, generally in nature, nothing is blue. Everything's either green, and in the fall you got red and you got orange, but blue stands out. So if it's in a survival kit, it needs to be a bright color. Silk sleeping bag liner, you may need it, okay? That's part of your shelter, part of your rain protection. Carry a yellow reflective vest, all right? It's got to be yellow, bright, obnoxious color. It's got the reflective tape, so if search and rescue is out looking for you, they'll see those reflective tapes right there. All right. We have, this is a tack bivy sack. This is a Mylar bivy sack. You can use it, sleep inside it. If it's real cold, you can line it with your silk liner, and then you can, here's your roof tarp. Now this thing right here, this is for if you're on the water. This is a Coast Guard approved rescue flag, signal flag, big exclamation point. It means come help me. I got a whistle attached to it. This is a Coast Guard style rescue whistle. It's called a Storm. I'm not gonna blow it because it's loud. And my requirements for a survival whistle is if it hurts your ears, then it's a good whistle. All right. You know something, I'm gonna move in just a little bit into the shade there and lay this down and put the rest of the contents on it. All right, this is a much better location because I can see what I'm doing now. All right, now we've got our emergency signal panel here, or you can use it as a flag. And then I've got the shelter components we went over a minute ago laid out right here. Now, in here, some of this stuff actually came with it. In here, some of this stuff's unopened. There's waterproof safety matches, and then there's a burn gel inside there, and then there's an instant ice pack. So there's a lot of first aid type stuff in here, so we're going to put that there. And then in here, this little Petzl thing here, that's a headlamp. And then we've got some insect shield. I think there's 2 packs of it. Yeah, there's 2 packs of it. And then there's a roll of 1-inch wide duct tape. I've never seen it before. This is the only kit that I've ever seen them put that in. And then there's a little mini light stick inside there for like lighting up the path and stuff. All right. We've got, oh, this is pretty much a full first aid kit right here. First aid. The other stuff is just like an addition to it. And in here it looks like there's some wraps, some tape, some scissors, some I think you call it the what do you call it, the hand sanitizer, alcohol gel stuff. So that's a full kit right there in its own bag on top of being in the survival kit. Got a little roll of toilet paper. Wilderness or toilet paper doesn't have the big giant roll in the middle. It's always rolled up solid. That way it takes up less room. And in here, this is a big bag. You might could change it, but this is what makes it a on-the-water survival kit, because this is bags of purified water, and I think you'll allow 2 bags per person per day and you won't die. You need more, but 2 bags per person per day, it'll keep you alive. And there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 bags in there, so that'll keep you alive for 4 days. And then you'll have to do other things. And here, look, it's an extra strap. I wondered where the strap went for this bag. And then there's a signal mirror. Look, you can see the GoPro in it, even through the plastic. Now this is what comes with the kit. There's 2 emergency Mylar blankets, and then there's 2 of those disposable ponchos. You never can tell, as small as a package that is, that could come in very handy at some time. Now this, as far as I'm concerned, is the star of the show. SOS food rations. This thing is vacuum packed. It's hard as a brick. You could probably bust a window out with it. This thing is awesome right here. Now, I think there's 6 bars in here. No, there's 9. There's 9, and I think you can eat 2 a day. And I had another pack of these. These are great because they're sealed up and they last a long time. These things you can eat 2 a day and you'll be all right. Now I had a pack that was about to go out of date, so I busted them open and I tried them. And as a matter of fact, I went Saturday and Sunday. One weekend, I ate 2 of these a day, one early, one late, and drank water. And by Sunday night, I was a little hungry, but I wasn't really starving to death. So these things actually do work. Now what they taste like is, you know, the Fig Newtons? They taste like a Fig Newton bar with no flavoring. That's exactly what they taste like. But anyway, there's 9 of them in there, so technically, I don't know. Most people might want to eat 3 a day. But anyway, now another thing I learned. This is a trick I learned from Morris Kohansky. This is for summertime. This barley sugar. You can read the package. I'll hold it up there. It's Glucose Treats barley sugar. It's supposed to help regulate your blood sugar levels. Now, as far as you diabetics go, I'm not real sure what you need in your survival kits. But people that aren't diabetic, these things right here can give you a burst of energy between these. Now, between this and this, it'll give you enough energy to survive. This does not come in the Coast Guard style dry bag. This does. You have to add this. All right. And then we have, this is it's a little pack. See the little the little white packs? Those are water purification tablets. You'll want to use them first in a canteen. Preferably, if you're in the wilderness, you're going to have a canteen. You're going to use your water purification tablets before you bust open those bags of water. And then you're going to have, this thing is a whistle with a match case, and it's got a junky little compass on top. I haven't tested the accuracy of that compass, but anytime that you have a little bubble compass, always test the accuracy of it. And then we got the orange paracord. Look, there's something else in there. Now I'm gonna have to open it up, because I don't even know. I just noticed there's something on the other side. Water purification tablets right there. Look, there's a little black thing on the other side. Let's see what that is. I didn't even realize that was in there. I opened this up and inspected the contents of it years ago. Oh, look, it's one of those little survival tools. I'm not real sure what it could be for, but it's in there. Oh, it's got a card that explains what everything is. Can opener, knife edge, screwdriver, ruler, can opener, 4-position wrench, butterfly wrench, saw blade, direction ancillary indication, 2-position wrench, lanyard, keyhole. If they're calling that little thing on the top a saw, Some of these survival items blow my mind. Now, this is what I added down in the bottom of the bag, okay? I wrapped it in a rag because it's always good to have a rag as like a tourniquet or an arm sling, or filter water through it, pre-filter, you know, before you put the tablets in. But a brand new lightweight pot. Can't go wrong with a pot. The reason I don't have a lid is because the contents here kind of stuff down inside it, and that also helps when I had the rag in it like this. I had the rag laying over it just like this. Oh, there's two rags. I had the rag laying over that, and then I had the water stuffed down in it to kind of protect the bags a little bit. So anyway, so that is the survival kit. All right, so there is your water or land survival kit in a dry bag. When you get something like that, you can add or take away, and sometimes the components change from summer to winter, but oftentimes I'm not in a situation in the dead of winter when I'm out kayaking or canoeing. So anyway, that's that. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you had fun. Hope you learned a little bit of something. Always be prepared. It's always when you go out and you're like, you know, oh, this is just a short trip, what could happen? Those are the times when things do happen. Because usually whenever you plan for a 5 or a 7 day canoe trip or kayak trip, you know, you're equipped, and oftentimes you're with other people. But if you go out alone, even if it's for a small trip, tell people where you're going, tell them where you're going to be and when you should get back, and carry some kind of a kit. And they even make these dry bags in small size, so that it could even be a small survival kit. All right, so take it easy, enjoy life. I hope you enjoyed the video. Get out, get on the water, hit the woods, enjoy life while you can, and we shall see you in the next one. Tight squeeze right there between them thorns.